Hey there YouTube, California Prepper. This is going to be a head-to-head of two of Spyderco's most favorite and probably most talked about knives out there currently. Of course we're talking about the famous ParaMilitary 2 and the Military. Now as you see, both these knives are the exact same model. We have the Digicam G10 with the black DLC blade. Now, both of these knives are just about equally stacked. One's just the bigger brother to the other. There are a few differences other than just size, but overall these knives are very, very similar, and in my opinion they are both great knives. If you have a chance to add either of these to your collection, do it. They are both great knives, and I am so happy that I finally own them both and have experienced them both for myself. Now with that being said, let's jump on into this head-to-head. First off, we're going to talk about the steel. There's really not anything to talk about there really. It's the same exact steel. We have CPM S30V with the DLC blade, so these things are just about exactly the same, except you have a 4-inch blade here and you have just under a 3.5-inch blade. Whoa, losing my background there. With the ParaMilitary 2. What is it, 3.438 inches. I'm not sure why they do that point weird stuff with all these knives, but it is what it is. Might be a customs thing. Let's see. Cutting edge for the military, we have 3.687 inches. So you do have a rather large cutting edge. What is it? Yeah, the cutting edge on the military is larger than the entire blade on the Para 2. But for some reason, the Para 2 is the favorite knife out of the bunch. I know myself, I've sort of found a sweet spot for these smaller knives lately. Before I went for the biggest, and that was about it. But I have found a sweet spot for these smaller knives. But to be fair, out of these two, my favorite would have to go to the military. It's just something about the size of this knife. It just fills my needs more efficiently than the Para 2. But to be fair, if you EDC these together, you're absolutely set for whatever will come your way. Both these knives are absolutely great. Like I said, if you have a chance to add either of them to your collection, jump on it. Blade shape, we have a modified clip point with a full flat grind on both of these knives. They're both razor sharp. I've touched them up on the sharp maker, so a cut test really isn't going to do much here. Thickness wise, they're just about the same as well. The military is just a little bit bigger. What is it? 0.145 inches on the military and 0.141 inches on the Para 2. Looks to be a tad bit more, but looks can be deceiving. Let's see, handle material exactly the same. We have Digicam G10, no steel liners, so they are very light. In the weight department, the Para 2 is coming in at under 4 ounces. It's 3 3/4 ounces, and the military is 4 1/4 ounces. So not very heavy knives here, but you do get a lot in the blade department on both of these knives. The cutting edge on the Para is 3.78 inches, so you still get over a 3-inch cutting edge on this knife, and I love that you can choke up with them. That's the one thing that I love about these knives that I would change about the lower end versions of the Spydercos, you know, the Tenacious and the Resilience. Yeah, it's great that you have a huge cutting edge, but I do like that extra choil to be able to choke up on, especially on a larger knife. You know, it's not needed as much on these smaller knives, but these larger knives, it's great to be able to choke up on, so you can do your fine tasks as well. Main difference with these knives, other than the size, is the lockup. You have a liner lock and a compression lock, and everybody seems to favor the compression lock. To tell you the truth, if they slapped a compression lock on the military, I think it would blow the Para out of the water, in my opinion. I just happen to like this size a lot more than I do the Para 2. The Para 2 is fun to play with. I'll sit there and flick this thing all day long. I'm not saying that I don't love to play with it, but I just love the military. To me, this is such a better knife. But other than that, I mean, that's just my opinion because I like larger knives. So a lot of people are going to probably thumbs down this because of that, but hey, it's just my opinion. Like I said, these knives are so similar. It's hard to do a head-to-head on these. Like I said, the overall difference is this one's bigger, this one's smaller, and the compression lock and the liner lock. Other than that, they are exactly the same. So both great knives. If you get a chance to get either of them, jump on it. They're great knives. And that's it. I'm going to be doing a couple other matchups here of Spydercos in the near future, and they'll have some more differences, so it'll be a little more something to talk about. But somebody asked me to do this, so I have to do what the subs ask, right? So that's going to do it, guys. Thanks for sticking around. If you guys have any tips or anything you want me to look over on these knives, go back and talk about. I would love to do it, but I just don't see that much difference in these blades to keep talking about. So I'm not going to drag it out any longer. Thanks for watching. California Prepper. I'm out of here.